Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another production of the Cross-Platform Baseball League. Tonight we have our Season 12 opener show, and it is me, Dwayne, one of the co-commissioners of this league, bringing it to you along with Oxbox in the booth once again. Welcome in, Ox. How we doing for this roundup?
What's up, Dwayne? Good to be here with you another night, and it's fun to get this season, the roundup started as we get into Season 12.
Yeah, a little bit different than we have done things traditionally in the past. Before we've done a preseason show where we release the rankings and the matches of the week, and then we had opening night. But this season, a little bit easier for our availability. We're doing it here on Monday night after opening day, where we're going to go over the rankings, the matches of the week that we released last night for you guys to look over. A special surprise at the end, and more stats from Wishbone that we always love to see and go over that he likes to pick out for us. So plenty of content here again on this roundup, and without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get things started with the rankings. So let me go ahead and get myself situated here. My apologies for having the wrong screen up.
Happy opening day to everybody. It's always a good day when it's day one of the XBL season, as you know, we got things started off last night with some fireworks.
Yes, indeed, we did. Some great games in the AAA and the XBL to start us off, but we're going to start the power rankings here with the AA. And that is going to be Starting at the bottom with Captain Bruisin and his Sea Monsters, a player that we didn't see a lot of in the offseason, so we're hoping to see more to start off this big AA season for them.
Yeah, Captain Bruisin a bit of a wild card. He's new to this game, but he's talented, so he could be dangerous. I just wanted to say though, let's welcome back AA, man. Hell yeah, welcome back to all the new AA guys, and thank you to the league for letting us have this AA. It's back in action.
Yeah, there's absolutely a bunch of new players here in this AA, and as we go down the list, you're going to get familiar with all of them, as the majority of the players in AA this season are brand new to the XBL, allowing us to hold this competition once again. So let's slide up the list here to ranks 10, 11, and 12, and we've got 3 new players right in front of us in the form of Fresh Poet and his comedy baseball team, Joey and the Teamsters, and Star Guko and the Scratch and Sniffs.
Yeah, the last 2 guys you mentioned, they're DBL members, I know. So experienced league play member guys, and Fresh Poet, I mean, he's a guy I've known for a long time in this game, and he's an experienced PR player at this ego level, so he's going to look to hold his own.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be exciting to see what this new crop of players is able to shake out, as these rankings obviously just spitballs by the league office and Ox here early on, and can really develop on their own as the games start to pile in. So let's move on up the board to 7, 8, and 9. We've got Rick and his Magicians, made a lot of noise in the new guys tournament, getting decently far. Dad Slush and the L7s, and Azrael and his Saints. Good designs here, good teams. Excited to see these players.
Yeah, Azrael, an experienced Federal League player, and Rick and Dad Slush, brand new to the XBL, of course. All 3 looking to hold their own. But these rankings, like you said, they're a bit of a a toss-up in AA. Not a lot of information known about anybody. So
yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they develop next week and the weeks after. Every time there's more games and things really start to formulate. So we'll slide up to ranks 4, 5, and 6, and we see our first returning player in the AA. It's going to be Snowbird and Tam Danitz as well, both making drops from AAA last season, as we had no AA to house anybody. And then we have a returning player as well in Ben Mack and his Razorbacks. He skipped season 11, but was with us in season 10, made some noise in the AA, as a matter of fact, back then.
yeah, Ben McNineteen, he's going to be tough. That's a guy I believe might have beat Burr in the regular season, or maybe it was the Porgs. I know Ben had some big wins in the last AA season that went down. He's certainly a sleeper pick to be able to beat anybody. And like you said, Tam Danitz and Snowbird are moving down from the AAA. Snow originally started in the AA and kind of had to move up, but myself, Tam, and Risenfall are moving down from AAA as well. So we ought to, should have some optimism coming into the season.
Yeah, all these returning players definitely ranking at least early near the top of this AA, especially the ones coming from AAA, like we were saying. Kind of swinging that weighted bat, moving from 83 to 75, and the offense in AA is going to be an interesting thing to watch as the season goes on. So let's go ahead and check out the top 3. What were you going to say?
It's time to take the old donut off the warm-up circle and step up to the plate this season.
Yeah, absolutely is here. And let's take a look at the top. We actually have a tie for number 1 between yourself, Oxbox, and your Nazgul 9, and Risenfall and his Plum Island Pirates. 2 good friends, 2 good players. Tied up there at the top from the voting. And then AG and the Best Buds, a new player coming in here to the XBL and putting himself at the number 3 ranking. So AG made some noise in the new guys tournament as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they do.
That's cap, Dwayne. That's all cap. I would not put myself first. I think Rise and Fall, he certainly deserves it, but you got to watch out for AG, man. That guy, I believe, is a Dynasty League champion, and I've scrimmed him before. He's going to be tough coming into it. He's got a very nicely built roster, and him and Rise and Fall and some of these other guys, I think, are going to be duking it out. I've got a chance because I'm an experienced player myself, but certainly wouldn't rank the 9 number 1 coming in, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just by track record alone, you'd have to think that you're going to have a good shot coming out in the AA as those Nazgul 9, but as you stated, it's going to be kind of a crapshoot at the top right now. Rise and Fall's looking good, AG's looking good, and the Snowbird and the Black Roses, Tam Danitz in the mix as well. It's really going to be a dogfight at the top here in the AA. So excited to see how that all pans out over the coming weeks. And without further ado, I think now we're safe to slide over to the AAA rankings. We'll start off at number
Yeah,
13
let's
and
go.
14. Two new players
do-
here in the form of Ball Justice on Under the Bus and Heisman 3000 and his Houston Stars.
Yeah, two guys coming over from the Federal League. We just saw Ball Justice make a great run through the New Guys Tournament losers bracket all the way to the championship, where he pushed Permatilt to the limit. So he's definitely, got riding some momentum coming into the season. But like we said, preseason rankings and new guys coming into the league, it makes for a crapshoot of a preseason ranking show. So I'd pay more attention to, the first 10 or 15 games or so. That's where these rankings are really going to shake out and, hold more true to their spots. But if you're in the bottom of the league right now, don't worry about it, guys. Trust me, it's a long season.
Yeah, there's a lot of shaking up to be done here. Weeks 3, 4, and 5 especially really start to nail down what looks to be the playoff standings, usually towards the middle half of that season. So without further ado, let's move up the board to 10, 11, and 12. We've got two new players sandwiching a player last season in the form of Diesel, who finished at 500, coming up from AA. Deck and his Golden Doodles at rank number 10 coming up was already positioned to be in AA, but did really, really well in the New Guys tournament and actually requested to get moved up to AAA. So he moved in, got himself the number 10 ranking. And then on the other side of Diesel, we have Black Coffee 91, who we just saw in action versus Under the Bus, and his Purple Pumas ranked at number 12.
Yeah, that's a tough three guys right here to be on the fringe of the top 10 in the AAA, because all three of these guys, I look to be able to see them beat anybody in the league. As we saw, Diesel, the former AA, the last AA champion we've had, really held his own, going 500 in the AAA last season. And Deck, hats off to you, man. Not a lot of guys, request to be moved up because of, they think a league's too easy for them. So hats off to you, and you already got a win to start this young AAA season. So well done by the Golden Doodles. And Black Coffee's, he's a strong player himself. I think he's going to have a good season.
Yeah, I think we're looking at a lot of parity here in the AAA for season 12. It's all going to start from bottom to top. There's really no calling how this entire ladder is going to shake out at the end. So let's keep climbing up it and see who we got next. Ranked 7, 8, and 9. It's Blue Panther and the Foxes making his return for a fourth AAA season. Mystery Man sticking around for his second AAA season after really impressing and finishing, I believe, the highest out of any of the AA players, winning a couple playoff series as well on the way. And then we have Dark Raider and his Rockets at rank number 9. Started off pretty strong today with a couple of wins, so we'll look to him to be one of the more exciting new guys, I think, in AAA.
Yeah, absolutely. These preseason rankings obviously not indicative of how the opening day games went before the rankings, came in. So Dark Raider to GOAT probably going to be moving up in the rankings for next week, already starting off strong. And you're absolutely right. Mystery Man finished the highest of the AA teams, former AA teams, and he was looking like, a fringe top 5 AAA player coming into last season's playoffs. He actually swept Blue Panther in the regular season last season. So he's, nobody practices more in this game than Mystery Man. He really pushes himself, and we know he's definitely committed to this league and he loves it. So he only has room to grow there at the 8 spot. As we get now into the 6, we're going to crack that top 5 in our next 3.
Yeah, we have a ranking tie at number 4 between Chronic Lies and the Femme Fatales after their runner-up showing in the World Series last season to Squiggle Jones and the New York Toe Beans, and then No Name dropping from the XBL with a new design on his base bandits. This is going to be his 3rd overall AAA season. So Lies and No Name tied at 4, and then Eduardo there at number 6. We saw No Name and Eduardo split on Match of the Week last night. Both of those players look like they're going to be challenging at the top.
Yeah, Dwayne, they're definitely two of the more experienced players here, as No Name has a few seasons of AAA and XBL under his belt. Chronic Lives making no changes to their team this season, as he was the former, he was just in the World Series, the runner-up from last season, like you said. So definitely look to see them repeat as a top 5 player. No Name, it's not going to be as easy as you think, man. You think you're coming in here all tough, a 90-ego player, and you're not just going to run through these AAA guys, man. You better bring your A game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a lot of crafty baseball to get through whatever dogfight it's going to be at the top of the AAA. This ladder is extremely even throughout. As we've gone up, it's just I really can't seem to call who my favorite is to win it all. But let's go ahead and check out the top three to see who the league office is leaning towards, at least to start. And it's Unholy Yeezus and those Unholy Milkmen over there at number one getting a big shout, followed by the New Design and Tezzy and his Heavy Hitters, and Big George and his New Guy Night Owls.
Yeah, Big George coming in preseason top three as a new guy. That's a nice job there, and it's a good looking logo you've got going on. Unholy Jesus, believe it or not, this is the second straight preseason he's got that number one spot, and ended up being quite a bust to start last AAA season, as he was under 500 for much of the year, but came alive in that second half, and coming into the playoffs, he was looking as good as anybody. He got kind of unlucky running into C-Man early, and it was still on 83 ego, I think. So Jesus looking for some revenge this season, as he's had a couple of tough draws in the playoffs, but he's certainly a guy that could win it all. And look at Tezzy, man, coming in that two spot. I see you, Tezzy. He's a tough guy to beat.
Yeah, he started off today with some big heavy hitters action, scoring a lot of runs as well. And just to shout back out to Unholy Jesus for just a moment, he was the first person to even take a game off of C-Man when the playoffs started last season. C-Man finishing undefeated, as many of us will remember, 28-0, but then losing in the next round to Chronic Lies in the semis. So Unholy Jesus also pushed him 5 games and showed the cracks in the armor. This is a player that's going to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, great point there. And he's without a doubt a top three hitter, and he's going to be somebody be tough to get out, 27 times a game. So good luck there, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of getting people out, we're going to move out to the toughest people to get out, the players that make their money on 90 ego, the XBL. And down here at the bottom of it at 16, 17, and 18, we have Finite Provision and his Joplin Miners Hall of Famer returning for his 11th XBL season. Then we have the AAA champion Squiggle Jones coming up to the XBL after finishing is the number 3 seed in that ladder last season and then making it all the way and putting on a really dominant performance. And then M. Bennings also coming up from the AAA. He was in the semifinals respectively and lost to Squiggle Jones on the way to that World Series. So pretty strong competition here at the bottom. As we already stated a few different times, it's not precisely how things are going to shake out, but somewhere where we have to lean, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. These rankings don't mean anything coming into the year, really, but we do have the AAA champion Squiggle Jones there, as you see. Bit interesting, M. Bennings wanted to move up to 90. I believe he plays at 90 in another league in the DBL, so he feels like he can compete, and I know him as a player, he certainly will hold his own in the XBL, but all three of these guys definitely looking to increase their ranking in next week's show as we move up here into the 15, 14, 13 spots.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as all these players here at the bottom are going to be challenging for those 12 playoff spots in the XBL. I misspoke last night on one of the opening night casts about how there was going to be 19 players. That would have been if government was included, but we're still at 18, so still at 12 spots in the playoff format. So it's going to be really, really tight here, especially at 13th, 14th, and 15th place. And looking at it as it stands right now for the rankings, we've got Wishbone Rules, who was featured on the opening night cast last night with a big sweep against Finite. And then a new player in the form of Stoichiometry and his Burning Rivers really made some noise through his scrimmages, jumping up quickly into the XBL caliber level player. And then the Full Tilt Flippers and Permatilt made some games last season before the season, but did not ended up joining us. So came back before season 12 and really got it together, and looks like he's going to be a competitive player.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Permatilt for winning the New Guys tournament, as he's really excited to get his first XBL season started. And Stoichiometry, we're glad to see you join us, man. Looks like he's holding his own in scrimmages, like you said. And Wishbone, a former AAA champion and somebody who was just left out of the playoff picture last season. I know Wish is coming locked and loaded, ready to, bounce back from his rookie season and really have a strong sophomore season here in season 12.
Yeah, we will see if any of these players are going to be challenging for the playoffs come week 7. Let's keep moving up the ladder. We have a tie at number 9. Speed Demon and his Pandas coming in here from the Federal League. Player that plays on a high ego in there, and should be interesting in the XBL. Jay Boops and his Colts moving to the PC from the XBL for his 10th XBL season. So we'll see if the Colts have a new look and some new power to them. The scrimmages have looked good so far. And then a new design from Webb at rank number 12 and his Ice Cap. So he ditched the Melon Heads. He's keeping the cup tee and the Ice Cap's a cool new design. And Webb has looked really good in scrimmages lately too. So his offense is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think.
Yeah, man, if this ends up holding up to be the 10, 11, and 12 spots, that's crazy because these are 3 guys I would not want to play right now. Jay Boops, moving to that PC cheese. But it is worth noting for anybody tuning in for, their first time, the XBL is the only league of the 3 leagues where there is a playoff cutoff spot, which is number 12 spot. So in AAA and AA, it's basically a new season. Season starts over for the playoffs, but you really got to grind to get to the top 12 of the XBL, and every game really matters.
Yes, indeed they do. I mean, it's do or die, and we've seen the past, I think the past 4 seasons since the cross-platform era and we re-implemented the cutoff. It's come down to the final week almost every time, so there's a lot of excitement to be had.
We want to see the 12 spot 1 game playoff, Dwayne. We beg for it every year, and it never happens.
I know the math never quite seems to work out. Someone seems to get away by the skin of their teeth as that 12th seed, but maybe this season things will change. We have an interesting set of players to try and make it happen, so let's keep moving up the ladder to see if there's anybody else hiding up here. And at rank 7, 8, and 9, we do have the Flash making a high appearance, 18 and 12 last season. 4-time champion, Hall of Famer, looking to really get back on his horse. Ted and the Dragoons finishing at 500 last season, hanging out right in the middle of these rankings right now. Should be able to make some noise. He's had good XBL seasons in the past. And then Pizza Volcano, the former AAA runner-up in Season 9, took Seasons 10 and 11 off, and now is back in here, ready to make some noise, tied for rank number 9 with Speedy. So it will be interesting to see what the Moon Kingdom can do.
Yeah, welcome back, Pizza Volcano. It's great to see you in that awesome logo you've got back in the league here. And Pizza's certainly someone that can hold their own here in the XBL. As you see, they make the top 10, without an actual season of XBL play under their belt. So much respect going to them. And then you see Ted and Flash neck and neck there in the 7, 8 spot. Both playoff teams last year, so both looking to improve their seed, but really, like I said, you just want to make sure you get in, and those 2 guys are definitely looking to rebound this season.
Absolutely. We'll see how they can do. These 3 players really going to be pushing that top 5, 6 other players for, those playoff spots. It's going to get real hot, especially weeks 5 and 6, I think, amongst this group, and we'll go ahead and see who they're competing with at 4, 5, and 6. It's Luke Archer and the Mallards, followed by GTM and the Sentinels. Those 2 faced off last night, where GTM actually ended up getting the upper hand. And then myself at rank number 6 with the Ice Sox, a little bit of a new look from my cup team.
Yeah, Luke Archer, he loves getting swept on opening night, but that's okay. We know he'll bounce back. Great start to the season by GTM and by yourself, Dwayne. Both of you guys getting a nice sweep here on opening day. And 4, 5, and 6, like you said, these guys, that's about where I would put them as well. As they're a tough out for anybody, and it's going to come down to that 4 spot's relevant as well, because that will determine who gets the buys, if I'm correct.
Yeah, the finishing in the top 4 gets you a bye into the quarterfinals, so it will be crucial for anyone who's sniffing about those playoff positions later to really play good baseball and lock that in. Luke, as of right now, and GTM probably the 2 favorites to be pushing for that spot, as it was in the past couple seasons. So now we'll move up the board to our top 3 XBL players, and if you already know who's returning, then you might already assume who's going to make their appearance here at number 1. Lazy's back, and he's got a new look Blackbirds, absolutely sick logo from Lazy, followed by Weaver at rank number 2, our Season 11 champion. And then right behind him, hot on his tail, the player he beat, runner-up, Ashnod's Coupon and the Blues, looking for revenge, looking for a title this season.
Wayne, I've got a hot take for you here. I think the guy who won the previous season should come in the preseason rankings as number one. So I actually voted Weaver ahead of Lazy. But it's worth noting that Lazy won the season 8 and 9 World Series and hasn't played an official game since then. So you could make the case that he's also the defending champion in his own right. Regardless, you can't go wrong picking any of these three. They're all three elite players, and certainly all three have a shot to win the World Series this season.
Absolutely. These three players are going to be in the mix for sure, and I can't call it right now. I mean, like you said, Lazy gonna be making a lot of noise, but making a return, maybe he's got some players here to deal with that he hasn't really anticipated yet. So the XBL in season 12 is as exciting as it gets. A big 45 player field overall amongst the three tiers. It's bigger than I thought it would be, and should be really, really exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, and we're glad to have all these new guys. And also, you wouldn't. There's guys at the top of each league who you expect to be, the winner at the end. But I think it's going to be interesting this year, Dwayne. I think there's going to be some wild cards in the mix, and I don't think things are going to go the way we expect them.
No, I agree, and we will be looking forward to it in the later end of the season to see how that all shakes out. And moving along here tonight, after we'll conclude our rankings, we're going to go ahead and hop into Wishbone's highlights and StatCast storylines for the season, things to watch, some exciting things that he's pulled out here for us. And to start it off, it's career records that are on the line that, where a lot of these players are reaching their 5th plus seasons, 10th, 11th, 12th seasons even. So to start it off, Finite Provision and the Flash are vying right now for most career victories. Currently, it's No Hummus in his 10 seasons with the most wins at 144 recorded. Finite is 2 behind him with 142, and Flash hot on his tail with 138. So I think either one of those players is going to be most all time at the end of the season.
Wow, yeah. That's something that could even flip-flop as we go throughout the season. They could both be breaking each other's records as we go on, but Flash having the most, I think he has the most career XBL championships under his belt. He would certainly like to be the all-time wins leader as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those players shake out. And moving down to the next record, it's going to be runs scored as it stands right now. Flash is lead, 1,337 runs scored for the most all time, and right behind him, hot on his tail in just 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 full seasons of play. Ashnod's Coupon has 1,311 runs, 26 behind Flash for most all time. Those two are going to be in a dogfight for most runs all season long.
Wow, what is that, like a 400 run per season average? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Wow, that's insane. And Ashnod surely going to eclipse that record this year, but we'll see what kind of fight Flash can put up.
Absolutely. And speaking of fights, there's another back and forth going on in the XBL between active players for most career hits. This one between myself and Finite Provision. At the end of last season, Finite was able to get the leg up on me. He's at 2,692 active hits, and then I'm at 2,676. So 16 hits behind Finite, and I'm not sure the average amount of hits most players get in a season, but maybe we see 3,000 this season.
Uh-oh, shout out to Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool. I mean, we never really anticipated at the start of all of this that someone would get 3,000 hits, that people would approach something like 500 home runs, but it's happening, and season 12 is going to be a big season where some of those milestones get reached.
Yeah, it really is cool to see, and it's definitely cool to see guys like you and Finite and Boops and Flash and all these guys who have played so many seasons over such a long period of time, even dating back into Super Mega 2. It's really cool to see, and it's awesome that all these stats are even kept. As somebody who came into it along the way, it was such a cool thing to discover and see the time and commitment involved in this league.
Absolutely, and we'll move on down to the next record, and longevity is definitely a big part of it here. This one between myself and Jay Boops. This is the most career pitching strikeouts. As of today, I've just taken the lead at 1,250, but that's a slim 8 strikeout lead. I started the day tied with Jay Boops at 1,242, so him and I back and forth. It's going to be like Lefty and Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. We've got Jay Boops, who's now Jay Coops on the PC. You got to watch out for him, folks.
Yeah, it will be really, really crazy to see a few different players have swapped platforms this season and see how they finish in comparison to seasons past. The next thing that Wishbone highlighted for us here is new. 17 of 45 players in Season 12 are brand new to the XBL. This is the highest proportion of new players we've had since the cross-platform expansion in Season 8, so huge for the XBL.
Yeah, you gotta love that, and welcome again to all our new guys. We love having you, and would love to see more new guys next season as well. So keep on the recruiting trail, and anybody you know interested in the league or you see in other leagues that you think would be good fits here, have them try it out. It's a great place to be if you love high ego competition.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate all the participation and recruitment help that we had this season to make AA possible and to get all of these new guys here to really beef up the numbers and just bring about the good word of competition here in the XBL. The final thing that Wishbone has highlighted for us is the Split King keeps on splitting. Will he do it again this season? That's Ted Danson and his Dragoons last season split 9 times. That was 60% of his series. You think he can top that this season, Ox?
He's probably hoping that he doesn't top that number because it'd be pretty tough to go above 500 if you are. But Ted's certainly somebody who's very tough to beat, and that's probably why he has so many splits. He's not somebody you can beat for 18 innings in a row. But hats off to you for doing it earlier today.
Yeah, it's huge merit in this league, being pretty much unbeatable across 2 games. So shout out to Ted for making it difficult last season, and I think we'll look to him again to really compete and to make it hard to get 2 wins off of him again this season as well. So really good highlights that Wishbone was able to pull out for us. Thank him for that, and we'll see some more as the weekly roundups go on this season. We're going to move on now to the matches of the week that were released last night for you guys. Ox and I are going to go over a little bit of prediction, a little bit of circling of the date for some of these big matches. And last night we saw Wishbone and Finite, a sweep there for Wishbone, and then No Name and Eduardo, a split there for those 2 players. So a great opening night. Line up a bunch of veteran players there. And then next week, I think Lazy versus Weaver speaks for itself, don't you think?
Man, 2 Titans going at it next week. I can't wait for that one. And then we've also got Mystery Man and D-Sil in the AAA. Former AA Titans battling it out. And it'll definitely be interesting to see both of those matchups. But man, Lazy and Weaver, I've been wanting to see that rematch for a long time, as Weaver was able to take a few games off Lazy back in Season 9. And he's back to being those Weaver's Beavers. So I wonder if he can take a game or 2 off of him to start this season here on Sunday.
Yeah, it will be really, really interesting to see. Let's keep looking at this list. Those 2 former champions going at it is probably the biggest one on here, but another one I've got circled is that semifinal rematch between Luke and Ashnod. And and Chronic Lives and Unholy Yeezus on the AAA side as well. That's going to be a big one. We were just touting Yeezus about how he was looking really good at the AAA #1, and a lot of the players in chat were saying Chronic might have got snubbed there. So the fact that those 2 are going to be matching up could quiet some haters.
Yeah, it's snubbed in the fact that, like I said, if you finish pretty high the season prior, you should be ranked pretty high in the preseason. But Unholy uses both of those guys, like we said, the Seaman Slayers, the only guys in the AAA all season last year to take a game off of Seaman, or those 2 people right there. So that'll be a great matchup. And I definitely have Ashnod Luke circled as well. Pizza Web will be a great one. A couple of great eyes at the dish right there. And Flash and Boops, the XBL. We started with an all Xbox matchup. We're ending with an all XBL, longtime veterans in the XBL. Like we said, Jay Coops now on PC, but those are 2 guys with 10 plus XBL seasons under their belt, right?
Yeah, both players. Flash is actually one of the players who does not have 10 seasons under his belt due to, some of those internet issues that he's suffered in the past, but he's been with us the entire time as an office member, so shout out to him for sticking that through. Not many people would probably stick around as long as he has and not play as many seasons as he's missed out on, especially with the rigor of organizing it all, but he does it, and Boops, like you just said, will be finishing his 10th season at that time. So shout out to him. It'll be exciting. And the week after that's a big playoff race matchup. We'll probably be setting up there. Like we said before, the XBL just can't seem to get away from playoff drama in that last week. So the matches of the week for week 7 have been big in the past like 3 seasons or so.
Yeah, a lot of times it's the match of the week that ends up the final week of the season that ends up determining that 12 spot, like you said. And Dwayne, you better bring your A game on February 20th, buddy. Speed Demon's no joke, and I know you've played him a few times, but that kid can play some ball, so I'm sure you're looking forward to playing him at the bowl, but I'd be on it that night if I were you. Make sure you're caffeinated.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting matchup. I've played Speedy myself as well in the Federal League, and he is, taking steps up above on me at 93 ego in there. So I'm going to have to do my best, come February 20th when I do play Speedy. Will be really, really exciting. Again, that's another players were saying probably could have been higher in the rankings, so should be a dogfight. And I think that'll do it here for our matches of the week. And as I stated before, there's going to be a little bit of a surprise for you. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the slides, and then I'm going to let Ox take it away to start us off here.
Yeah, without further ado, here's our little bonus section of this weekly roundup, as we have exciting news for the Hall of Fame inductees, and none other than Dwayne is going to be our first one tonight, the commissioner and co-founder, I believe, of the XBL, and somebody who's been in it for a long, long time, and well deserved, my friend. Congratulations on being inducted into the official Hall of Fame.
I very much appreciate that, Ox. I mean, honestly, I didn't think I'd be almost as speechless as I am right now, but it means a lot to me that I made it here after 10 seasons, and for a long time I was playing around at the bottom and didn't, really do myself any favors as far as stats go, but sticking it out goes to show, 2,500 innings, 2,500 hits, all-time leader in strikeouts, stuff like that. It's a lot I can take home to be proud of, even though I've never really won anything that's significant. So yeah, I appreciate all of the pats on the back, and I'm a Hall of Famer. Good stuff.
Hell yeah, man, that's really cool to see, because I didn't really want to touch on this in the opening part of it, but you are somebody who's certainly took your lumps over time and just kept battling and battling, and now you've made such improvement to where I'm sure when you started this league back in the day, you didn't even have any notion of the Hall of Fame, or even it's that being a goal of yours, but
there was no Hall of Fame.
Right. I mean, it's not something you set out to do, but it's something you've certainly earned here over time.
I really appreciate it, Ox, and it feels really good to make it here, and we're going to make somebody else feel real good for making it here right now. The real special surprise announcement here for the XBL Hall of Fame, our second inductee of the evening. Here he comes. It is Weaver for Prez, Season 11 champion, 2-time Von Asen winner, former league office member, commentary team member, all-time leader in whip. This guy, he's the best pitcher in the cross-platform era. Now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, congratulations, my man Weaver. You've certainly earned it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne, this might be the quickest route to the Hall of Fame anybody's ever achieved, but he's certainly earned it with his performance on the mound, and we saw his incredible jump at the dish last season. He was able to come away with the championship, so well deserved and well earned, Mr. Weaver.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually the second quickest route to the Hall of Fame that anyone's taken. Axel Grease, in his 3 seasons of domination in the XBL, got himself into the Hall of Fame, and then unfortunately did not join us in the cross-platform era. So Weaver is the first player who's played strictly in the cross-platform era to make the XBL Hall of Fame. So shout out to him. He's a trailblazer in his own right. He's the first PC-only player in the Hall of Fame as well. You can see there his Navigators, who won that season, is Weaver's Beavers, his most beloved design, and the Catella Crazies as well from season 10. Just shout out to him for the longevity and for making it happen. That's a big part of this, is sticking it out, participating, and being an active member, and we try to really highlight that and appreciate that after the due time is put in.
Yeah, you love to see it, and certainly well deserved by Weaver, and he's got some work to do to keep it up this season, as we've got some great new blood in the water and some returning big names. But so Weaver's name will be in the history books forever now. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, it's just shout out to him, and we got 2 new members of the Hall of Fame. It's an exciting evening, as always, when we get to induct people in, and that'll do it here for us tonight. I mean, this is a really, really exciting season we're going to have on our hands here. As we stated before, 17 new players with us, and then returning players in the form of Lazy, and and on others I can't even remember off the top of my head. That's just the one that sticks out the most because he's going to be challenging up there amongst the top. So XBL is going to be big. AAA, you can't call it. AA, everybody's new almost, so you can't call that either. This is the most exciting season of XBL baseball I think we have on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the biggest wild card question mark coming into it too. I'm definitely excited to see how things play out, Dwayne.
For sure. So next week we'll be back with another roundup for you, and on Sunday night we'll have these exciting matches of the week between what looks to be Lazy and Weaver and Mystery Man and Diesel. We'll be getting with those players to get those scheduled for you. Keep your eyes on League News as always for any announcements involving that and anything that might change as far as the season goes. As it stands right now, everybody's doing great. Just keep getting those games in, keep hitting those minimums, and Ox, I thank you very much for joining me here tonight. Is there anything you want to leave us to part with?
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. And guys, turn on the league news notifications. I mean, if you want to turn everything on mute, that's fine, but don't miss out on league news. They're not typing anything in there just to waste their breath. But also for any new guys, I know it's exciting on opening day, but like I think you mentioned this, Dwayne, don't get too far ahead of yourself on playing games. In the double and the AAA, I think there's 12, 13 guys. So you're looking at like 22, 24 total games played. If you knock out 8 of them in the first week, that's almost half your season. So just try to pace it out. But I'm excited to get some games in and excited to watch some games. So good luck to everybody this season, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, shout out Ox. Thank you for those PSAs. They're definitely important. And just as far as XBL, AAA, and AA go, there will be some additional games probably added on to the end of that season in the form of something similar to the AA round robin, but I'm not going to nail any of that down for sure just yet. Just know that we are looking at adding games in some way, shape, or form for you guys before the playoffs. So be ready for that. Be ready for more than just your 24 listed games as it stands right now. So exciting times in the XBL minors and at the top half, indeed.
Yeah, that's awesome news. And just wanted to, again, thank you so much for all the time you put in, Wishbone, and you yourself, Dwayne. Thanks for all the time you guys put in.
Absolutely, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the XBL without it, and I'm happy to do it. It's honestly my pleasure, and to give it to all of you guys, and you guys all make it happen, and make you guys all being here make us want to do this, and make Wishbone want to put together all these awesome spreadsheets and all this information and things like that. So keep up the good work, keep up the participation, and we will see you next time here on the Cross Platform Baseball League channel. Have a great, safe, and pleasant evening, everybody.
See you guys.